We got some classic Pokemon ports announced recently, don't know if you guys have heard anything about it. You know, no biggie. Oh wait, my mistake, big biggie, because people have been on the warpath about this announcement. So just to briefly recap first, Pokémon FireRed and LeafGreen have been announced to be getting ports for the Nintendo Switch system. They'll be releasing on Pokémon Day actually, February 27th. Ports of some kind have been a heavily wishlisted thing by fans for a good while. I'm definitely one of those annoying people who hasn't stopped talking about them myself, and we're finally getting some. But it's never quite that simple with Pokemon, is it? A whole storm has been cooking up online around these re-releases. So let's just go through what the humdrum is about. So first of all, there's the method of release. These games aren't being added to Nintendo's online subscription service, where there's a whole Game Boy Advance section where other ports live. There's a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game on there at the moment actually. Instead, they are being sold individually on the Nintendo eShop. Very easy to look at that and see it as a cash grab. Could be an element of that. But many were also fairly quick to point out that to have any Pokemon Home compatibility with these ports, they'd need to be their own games with their own save files installed on the Switch system. Which, I'm not a technical guy when it comes to this kind of stuff, but that appears to make sense on that front. I don't know though, let me know in the comments if you're a bit more knowledgeable and think there is a way it could be done via Switch Online. Mentions of Pokemon Home have since been removed from the product page though, so no idea what's even going on there anymore. And then that leads to the second thing, which is the price. These titles are being resold to us for $19.99 each, so essentially $40 if you want to pick up both. My god, has this got the masses fighting with each other. $20 for a 22-year-old Game Boy Advance game? It feels steep. I mean, I did spend more than that on a pizza order the other night, so I think there's something to be said there. How many of us spend $20 on a single meal that's gone in 20 minutes, but right now are quarreling over spending $20 on a game that you'll play for well over 20 hours? So yeah, that's just something I was thinking about when I saw the price, and I thought, oof, that feels a bit much. But it does still feel a bit much to me, comparatively. When I see other similar things on the market, for example, I still need to pick up the Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection. That has 14 games included. You can buy the premium edition of GTA 5 for less. That was a bit of a whoa moment for me. So I'm swaying with my thoughts on it. I do think bundling the two games together for, say, $25 would have been the better play. But here's what I ultimately boiled it down to. I think that if you're one of the people who are genuinely annoyed by the price of these games, you think they're a complete rip-off and that Pokemon are rinsing their fans, you're furiously arguing with people online about it, that you're not the target audience for them. Because I think there are two major audiences here that are trying to be reached with these re-releases. The first one is millennials in their mid-30s who have a deep nostalgia for these games, and access to adult money, who will forego their weekly Domino's pizza this weekend and pick up FireRed for a nostalgia trip instead. And the second is much younger people who have never played these games before. And so these are essentially new games to them. It's a fresh experience. Psychologically, they're getting something that's brand new. And it's those two demographics that are going to see this price tag as perfectly worth the money. Other people, like me to be honest, who are sort of drifting in the middle, like, I don't have a whimsical nostalgia for these games because I didn't play them when they were first released, but I have played them at some point, at least a couple of times, so they wouldn't be a new experience for me either. I'm just sort of so-so with them, where I'll probably pick up one version at some point, but it won't be right away on release. My sights personally are set on Gen 10 and Pokemon Champions for the foreseeable. It was interesting actually that they didn't make this reveal part of the Pokemon Day Presents. It's come a week before Pokemon Day, and then the games actually drop on Pokemon Day. I wonder if they just wanted that separation, if there was a worry that the Gen 10 announcement might just overshadow these ports being released, and less people would buy them because they're all popping on that hype train. From a business standpoint, it's probably a smart move to get people's orders in during this week in the run-up to Pokemon Day. But my god, I definitely didn't expect ports to cause this much of a stir. The last time we got ports as well was 10 years ago. We got them on the Nintendo DS eShop. I remember those being around $10 each, so they've essentially doubled in price this time around. Inflation is a thing, but it probably hasn't been that much. Pokemon knows how to get us talking, that's for sure. I just wish it didn't have to get so toxic. I'm seeing some really spiteful words being thrown around, and it's really not worth it. If you want to buy these FireRed LeafGreen ports, buy them, it's your money. You can literally do what you want with it. If you don't want to buy them, just don't buy them. Buy something else you feel is more worth it, that you'll actually enjoy. Simple as that, really. We all have our stances, but not everything has to devolve into a war of ethics and integrity. I have a couple of videos on FireRed LeafGreen that I made a little while back. You should go and check those out in the pinned comment.